To import your own assets into 7 Days to Die, you're going to need the following. You're going to need Unity 2018.2.21 F1. You're going to need some 3D editing software such as Blender, which is free, and image editing software if you want to design your own textures and such like. You can use Photoshop. There are free alternatives such as GIMP. And you're also going to need to download the zip file that's in the description below the video. This is important. You're going to need this because this is going to be used in Unity to be able to export your project to a Unity 3D file to then be imported into 7 Days to Die. To start, download Unity 2018.2.21 F1 and install it. Now download the file in the video description and extract it onto your desktop. You're going to need this file a little bit later on. Fire up Unity, right click, insert a cube. The cube at scale 1 by 1 by 1 is absolutely relative to a cube in game. It's the actual size. So if you imported into 7 Days to Die, that cube that you've just imported at X scale 1, Y scale 1 and Z scale 1, you will in effect have a cube, just a standard block in 7 Days to Die. Right click in the grey area and create empty. This is basically creating a prefab, a folder. So we just need to click and drag that so that it's its own entity there, and then drag cube into it. So the game object there is the parent and the cube is the, there we go, the child. So if we name this, I'm going to name it asset prefab, and notice that the scales are all 1 by 1 by 1. You need to make sure that this remains that. It's because sometimes from other projects it will change, and that will just mess things up when you import them into 7 Days to Die. Now we need to apply tags. So if you click on untagged and click add tag, then you just need to click the little plus and click save. Click the plus again and name this capital T underscore capital B LOCK, and then we're going to need to create another one. So hit the plus again, and this time it needs to be called T Mesh B, capital T underscore capital M E S H underscore capital B. This is so that you have physics in the game and you won't just walk through the block. You just need to assign that tag now to the cube, not the parent, but the actual cube itself. And that needs to be T Mesh B. Now in the grey area underneath, you need to go to import new asset. And we're going to be importing from the desktop the export asset bundles.cs file there. And what this is going to do is it's going to allow you to be able to right click on the project and select build asset bundle from selection, and what this does is it allows you to export it to a Unity 3D file for 7 Days to Die. To apply a texture, we're just going to right click and create a folder. This is just to keep things tidy. You don't actually have to do this. We're going to name it materials. I'm going to go into that folder there and we're going to import new asset, and we're just going to locate some textures that I created earlier, in this case kitchen floor, and we're just going to import them. I don't think these are actually seamless. It's always best to use seamless images. And to do that you just need to select the cube. You need to select the cube, not the parent, and then click and drag onto the cube. And there you go, you'll see that a texture has been applied to that cube. And these are the shaders you can use. In this case we'll just have a test with the legacy, perhaps the bump diffuse there, and as you can see, once we've applied the normals, that makes it look a little bit more rough. You've got a bit of a nice bump map there. Have a play around with the settings and see what feels good. and we'll drag the new changed whole. This is the whole parent. You need to drag that down into the assets, and you'll see that the texture's applied in that mini icon there. And then we're just going to right click it and build asset bundle from selection. And I'm just going to save that to a Unity 3D file for 7 Days to Die. And I'm just going to go ahead and call this kitchen block. Oh, that warning there is just because I didn't actually tell Unity that the normals image was a normals file, but it doesn't matter. I just click ignore it, that won't affect it in any way. It's always best to create a working test version of 7 Days to Die so that you don't mess up the original install, and to do that we just need to go ahead and right click in Steam on the game, go to properties, and then under local files just click browse local files, and then if you click on common at the top, right click on the 7 Days to Die folder, copy, and just paste that wherever you want. In this case I've created a folder called 7 Days to Die editing. As you can see, there's one already there, so there's no need, but you'd click paste, and essentially that would be a new fresh install of 7 Days to Die. So we just need to go ahead now and download the mods.zip from the link in the description. And we're just going to copy and paste the mods file, or drag and drop, it's entirely up to you, into the root directory of the new install. So there we go. In my case it asks me to replace because I've already got files in there. So you will now have in the mods folder, in this case Chewy, and then basically you've got everything you need there for the game to be able to relate to this new Unity 3D file that you've just created from Blender. In the item icons folder is basically all the icons that you will use in-game. So they're just PNG files, they're very small. And in the resources is where the Unity 3D files go. And in the config is the blocks.xml, and this is a very important file, as this is what essentially tells the game what to do with the Unity 3D file. So you need to drag and drop the kitchen block Unity 3D, or whatever you've named it, into your resources folder. And under config, you need to open the blocks.xml. So change the block name to kitchen block, and this is what they will see in game. And if we change the file name to what we called it, in this case kitchen block.unity 3D, and we need to change the prefab to the name of the parent folder that we created in Unity, in this case asset prefab with a capital P. There are various other tags in XML file that you can mess around with. I'm not particularly well versed in it, so it will be a case of sort of learning these parts for yourself, unfortunately. I'm sort of editing as I go along myself. Once you've saved the XML file, it will be a case of trying the game. If you type CM to get into creative menu, type in kitchen block to find the correct block and put it into your bar, and as you can see it has worked and the block is now in the game. And that's essentially how you insert your own textured block into 7 Days to Die using Unity.